Well, for one thing, just want to give you a breather here, but our colleague Avery Everett is on her way to I-10, and I was going to just bring Adam in on this because for obvious reasons, we're thinking about our friends in the Hill Country right now, given what they went through on July 4th. And so according to Avery, Adam, she was monitoring social media, and there were some reports just on social media right now in the Kerrville area of strong winds, heavy rain, and small hail. And I just know from my experience covering the flood there and everything, people are still very much on edge anytime there's severe weather in our area. And I wonder if you can kind of speak to that right now, just given what they went through in July, what tonight is looking like, and obviously with the river and those kinds of things, how this would compare to what happened back in July.
This is nothing like what happened in July. That's the key. River flooding is highly unlikely in this scenario. It's road flooding we have to watch out for. And pockets of even 2 to 4 inches can't be ruled out because of these reoccurring storms through the night. So yes, I know, along the Guadalupe, it is raining hard right now. And, the water, the flow, I should say, will increase because of this and the runoff. But keep in mind, in July, excuse me, these storms did not move. The storm was stationary, and we had very different atmospheric conditions that were more favorable for river flooding. This is a different situation. This is moving in, moving out. We get a break, which is important, and then more rounds. So actually, this is healthier overall to help put a little dent in our drought because of the waves of rain that we're having. Okay. This is the leading edge right now. It's almost in Bulverde. Fair Oaks Ranch, you're on it. High winds hit first, heavy rainfall, and then a little bit of hail. Of course, frequent lightning and thunder. All these white lines indicate the cloud to ground lightning strikes over a 15-minute span. Okay, so these are just the cloud to ground strikes over the last 15 minutes. And when you see them flash, those are the newest lightning strikes. Sometimes on here, and sometimes I get into a bit of detail, and I'm going to right now. Sometimes on here, you'll see yellow strikes. And those yellow strikes, I can't identify one right now. Those yellow strikes are positively charged. Most lightning strikes have a negative charge. Oh boy, okay, we got something new here. Okay, this notch, remember earlier, those of you that were watching where we look for these little notches in the flow? Those can turn tornadic, and now we do have a tornado warning. And this tornado warning is not for necessarily, it's not a confirmed tornado. Let me see here. Yeah, rotation, yeah. You get these little, this is quasi-linear convective system, and sometimes you get these little line echo wave patterns that develop along the line. You get these little notches, and that's what we're seeing right here. Those of you that were watching and with us live on the app and on our stream in KSAT Plus, I was explaining how sometimes we look for little notches in the flow, and National Weather Service folks identified this one pretty quickly here and put a warning on it. So remember how I told you the radar can detect winds toward and away from the radar. The radar's here, okay? So it's detecting wind going toward it and away from it. And where you then see these colors line up just right, this is an example of a little rotation and spin within this part of the thunderstorm, where we have the winds going toward the radar and then winds going away from the radar, okay? And that gives us this counterclockwise swirl right here. And so this is an example of one of the signatures that we look for. And this is right over Candelia. Candelia, get into an interior room, stay away from windows. Spring Branch, interior room, away from windows. Because Spring Branch, this rotation, okay? I know some folks who live in the Spring Branch area. Here you go. The rotation's heading in. The part of the storm that's rotating is heading into Spring Branch right now. It's moving through Candelia. Anybody, Deer River, Cross Canyon Ranch, Cascada at Canyon Lake, Cypress Cove, and obviously Spring Branch and all along the Guadalupe here, you need to be inside away from windows. Twin Sisters as well. You're in that zone where you could have a tornado touchdown, and it's because of this area where the colors come together, where we have the highest risk of a tornado moment, whether it's just up in the clouds right now, just a rotation high in the clouds or an actual touchdown. We don't have confirmation of an actual touchdown just yet. And I do want to point out that these types of little notches in the flow, usually they're relatively short-lived compared to, say, a big supercell, just one thunderstorm on here that would have a tornado. Usually these don't last as long as those, but this is still a clear and present threat. Even Fisher, let's give you a time. Okay, so here's the rotating part of the storm, right? Let's go to the west side of Canyon Lake, where we could have the tornado, 11:56 p.m., all right? Fisher at about 11:57 p.m. And Spring Branch is moving through right now. Smithson Valley, you are on the edge of this. You are not necessarily safe. I know 46 here, 46, you know, that runs west to east, Bernie, all the way into New Braunfels. Going through Smithson Valley, you're right on the edge of it, but if you're in Smithson Valley area, you need to be in your safe space, basically interior room, away from windows. And by the way, with this just moving in general, plan for power outages. So if you can get that last little charge up, you know, for your phone and have a couple flashlights ready, because whenever we have high winds and even just a decent amount of lightning, we do get power outages. So this is the possibly tornadic part of the storm that is north of San Antonio. See, I'm zooming out. This is the area of concern. Moving through Spring Branch, this is basically right along the Guadalupe River. That's the area of concern, headed to the east toward San Marcos. Now, the leading edge of the straight line winds, not the rotating potential tornado, the straight line winds, that's headed into Bulverde. Bulverde, you're just a few minutes away from that. But the primary concern right now is naturally here. Now, another thing that we can do is take a look at just the shear. So wind shear is basically the spin of wind with height, and when winds go in opposite direction near each other, you know, it's a shear. They're shearing. And so we measure that shear, and it's a good indicator, depending on how much shear there is, of the potential for a tornado. Clearly, high shear here near Candelia. Twin Sisters down to Spring Branch. This is right along 281. You know, if you're headed north on 281, you cross over the bridge over the Guadalupe, go through Spring Branch. You have a couple gas stations there. You go, then you have more gas stations up northward, and then you go through Twin Sisters. This is the biggest part of spin within the thunderstorm. And you look at it over the past hour and you see how it's gotten stronger. Okay, we just got a new scan from the radar. So this is a 1 hour look at the shear. Let me get rid of some of this other nonsense on there. So what this does, notice how right here between Comfort and Sisterdale, there was some shear. Yeah, and you're always gonna have some shear. But then as that pocket of shear moves eastward, it gets bigger and stronger, and especially in these yellow spots. This is Spring Branch, okay? This yellow spot right here, the highest shear where we'd be most likely to have the tornado. This is right at 281 Sattler Road, Ritterman Road. This is north of San Antonio, not Ritterman Road locally. And right at Nine Man Lane. Mary Claire, I know you live in this area. If you're watching Mary Claire, I know you live in this area. Once it has passed, please reach out to me. Let me know the ground truth and what you saw and the situation out there. And actually, Mary, it's just on the other side of the river, the highest shear, but you still need to be in your safe place. But this is that strong part, the strongest part of the shear. So notice how that grew. And when it got to this yellow point, that's when the Weather Service made a good move of pulling the trigger to issue the tornado warning. And it's all where these colors come together. This is the rotation within the thunderstorm and the little notch that formed along the thunderstorm line. Okay, I'm going to take us southward a little bit into San Antonio because I know we have the storms moving in right now. It's almost at the rim in La Cantera.
Just want to jump in just to say that there are, I can confirm on a personal note, there is some small hail in the Helotes area right now that's falling.
Oh, good. So you've had reports there?
It's my house. So,
okay.
Yeah. Just from the family and everything. And so
Any size?
Yeah, I mean and I'm looking at it live right now on the Ring camera.
cam.
It's not destructive by any means, but it's
Yeah.
certainly happening. And so I just wanted to call your attention to that.
And that's what helps, also adds to kind of the sound of these storms. You know, it's loud when they move in, and that can be intimidating, and I understand that. We're going to be here with you throughout this, of course. And Sarah Spivey will be coming in a few hours as well. She'll be joining us. But moving into northwest Bexar County, Helotes, we have the strong winds and even some hail scattered about, especially in these little purple areas. The purple areas on the screen, those are little pockets of hail, but hail's not the threat here. The threat is wind. Wind gusts for Timberwood Park, Bulverde, Hollywood Park, San Antonio, Leon Valley, Alamo Ranch, SeaWorld, all around Lackland, Helotes. It's the wind gusts and even Windcrest. Windcrest, I haven't given you a time yet, but I want to give you a time in Windcrest when it would arrive by 12:06 a.m., okay? So you're looking about 15 minutes, it should be in Windcrest. So that's the wind gust part of this storm, and also just about to move into SeaWorld and Leon Valley. Then we come farther north, and we have a combination of some small hail, and the most important part is the circulation. Here's a big picture. Just want to zoom out, give you an idea of where we're looking, put this into motion. And you watch this over the past hour. It develops out to the west, comes together, and where the part of this line, here's why you see this yellow polygon that forms. Boom, the National Weather Service issuing their severe thunderstorm warning, keeping us safe through the government shutdown. Notice how, boom, it's because of this bow too, that bow. Whenever you have that bowing arc, that's usually where the line pushes ahead and gains a little speed, and that can be where it focuses some of the high wind gusts or some of the highest of the gusts within that line. Whereas the potential tornado is right here west of Canyon Lake. It's just crossing over 281. So here you have wind gust, potential tornado, heavy rain, and then small hail. That's the order of operations here. For those of you, Twin Sisters, right along 281, from Blanco southward, all the way to where you can peel off and go to Canyon Lake eastward. Hello, Spivey. Welcome. Thank you for waking up extra early. I hope you got some sleep and are feeling better. All the way down to Smithson Valley. So that's the potential tornado area that's headed eastward. So a time for that. Remember, we went over this a little bit earlier. Fisher. That's you, David Sears. David Sears, a KSAT alum, now retired. 11:59 p.m. That's when you can anticipate it there. Wimberley. Some of you watching in Wimberley. Rotating part of the storm by 12:11 a.m. would be the time. Where do we know that it's rotating? Well, let's take a look at here we go, storm relative velocity. Okay, ooh, yeah, all right. So this is just a new scan that just popped up. And as I mentioned, okay, I'm gonna zoom out, so if you get dizzy, I'm gonna try to do it slowly. I know I can get zoom happy. I'm sorry, it's because I really get into analyzing these and it can be in and out a lot. Thank you for bearing with me through that. I apologize for when I do too many zooms and pans. But San Antonio down here, wind gusts is what we're looking out for. The potential tornado is headed toward Fisher and Canyon Lake. Look at Canyon Lake High School. This is headed straight for Canyon Lake High School. And I say this because this notch and right here, where the winds are going toward the radar here and away from the radar here, it gives us that counterclockwise circulation. Okay, so this is one type of tornado signature that you look for. Now that we have this in here, we were talking winds, okay? Winds across that shear zone, look at that, potentially 91 miles per hour there and 17. So we have about 100 mile per hour shear, which is usually a pretty good indicator of a touchdown. I think it's more favorable for a touchdown than some of the others, than lower numbers, I should say. Sorry, I'm just looking at this. All right. Yeah, so not just that tornado, potential tornado, but even enhanced straight line winds here. Okay, so even if this isn't a tornado touchdown, there's going to be some high winds in this part of the storm that's headed right for Canyon Lake. And Canyon Lake and surrounding areas, I know this ain't your first rodeo with this, but you need to be in your safe place right now. Startsville, Canyon Lake, anybody around the high school, Fisher, down to Sattler. This is a serious situation. This is a rowdy thunderstorm with potential wind gusts of 70 to 80 miles per hour and the potential for a tornado to touch down here at any moment if it hasn't already. But right now we don't have any confirmation of a tornado actually on the ground. So I was showing you some of those high winds, and I'm just going to point that out. There we go. We have 91 miles per hour there. This is about 1,500, 2,000 feet up in the air that we're measuring this, but that's a shear of over 100 miles per hour, so that's pretty significant. Usually 70 to 80 miles per hour is kind of marginal. Anything above 80 is more significant when it comes to a potential tornado, but high winds here headed right toward Wimberley, even if it's not the circulation. Now we come down here and it's basically just some high winds, heavy rain, small hail for San Antonio. Let me switch over to our more traditional view. And when I say small hail, probably penny size hail or dime size hail. That would be about it. But this is more of a rain event than anything. Right now it's moving into Stone Oak as we speak, moving into Stone Oak. Reagan High School, you're going to start getting the high winds and heavy rain right now over toward Rogers Ranch and the Rim. It's just picking up, okay? We have Blanco Road here, the big HEB, the super HEB. We have Hebner, Blanco Road, yeah, Blanco, Hebner, Bitters, and it's just moving into the Rogers Ranch neighborhood as we speak. Chavano Park, you're just minutes away from the heaviest of the rain. There it is, and it's going to pick up in intensity. I want to give you an idea of when this will end, okay? So ending in, I should say lighten up. The rain it'll turn to lighter rain. From heavy rain and a lot of lightning and thunder to lighter rain is going to be for Leon Springs. You're talking another 25 minutes, 25 minutes for Leon Springs, okay? So this whole line lasts a good amount of time and is going to drop probably 1 to 3 inches of rain in its path. And then once this moves through over the next couple of hours, we could have more development again. Well, I think we will have more development again later on tonight. Okay, I'm going to go back to the tornado warning. This is the tornado warning, Canyon Lake area. So Fisher, Canyon Lake High School, Startsville, Smithson Valley, you are definitely in the line of high winds or the wind gusts, and this is in effect until 12:15 a.m. As of now, it's in effect until 12:15 a.m. And every time we get a new scan, you see how it just updated. That's when I like to switch over to look at the wind profile. And it's right here on the northern shore of Canyon Lake. Cranes Mill, okay, Cranes Mill, and we have campgrounds here, right? And it's Friday night. Cranes Mill all the way to Canyon Lake High School. This whole area is where there's that potential tornado on the ground. FM 484, FM 306. 306 is what goes around the north side of Canyon Lake. Then you can peel off to the high school. FM 32, we have Kellogg Road. This is where it currently is, but if you are anywhere in or around Canyon Lake, you need to be in your safe place, which is an interior room. Just get away from windows, get into an interior room. If we had basements here, I would say get in the basement. We don't have basements, so you need to be getting into an interior room. Sometimes closets honestly work the best, especially big walk-in closets work pretty well. Or if you have a closet that has a staircase over it, you know, sometimes you have a staircase that winds and then there's a closet. Those are good spots too, underneath the staircase in a closet when it comes to a potential tornado. And I'd suggest that for anybody around Canyon Lake, and especially on the north shore of Canyon Lake and into Canyon Lake toward the high school, but even high straight line winds for everybody else. So you just need to stay away from being outside and stay away from the windows. So we do have a live shot right now we're going to go to. We'll get back to where the storms are, where they're headed. This is our storm tracker, and if we could actually divert them up 281 if possible, 281 north to look Okay, well, I'll reach out.
She's on
to
I-10 near
Avery.
De Zavala right now.
Okay, I-10 near De Zavala. We will have to divert her 281 north to look for any damage. Spivey, do you mind sending her a text? It's
You know, I can do that here right now.
Oh, okay, yeah. Let's have them go 281 north, but you said I-10 De Zavala. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
a heavy rain, 281 Wilderness.
So you're saying 281. Okay.
So really just coming down in sheets right now.
I don't know if you have access to the TransGuide cameras, but you can certainly see a lot of the rain just coming down in sheets in some areas. I just wanted to mention really quickly, CPS Energy outage map not reporting any outages yet. But we would probably expect that to change here in the coming hour or so.
Yeah, I mean, even just heavy rain sometimes, you know, can cause some cause some outages. But yeah, now you can see the sheets coming across 281 there, and this is at Wilderness Oak. See those lines on the highway, the flashes of light, the lightning, frequent cloud-to-cloud lightning and just thunder, but also cloud-to-ground strikes. You're going to have a lot of cloud-to-ground, and it's a lot of those strikes that can knock out power as well. So that's a good view, good visual there. But I do want to point out the tornado is farther north from where we were looking. We were looking at I-10 De Zavala, right? The potential tornado is up near Canyon Lake. High wind threat is elsewhere. So wind gust for the rest of us, potential tornado around Canyon Lake that has since moved past Spring Branch. So if you're in Spring Branch or Candelia, the worst of the threat has passed. I still won't go outside quite yet, right? But the worst of the threat has passed with the tornado, potential tornado, right now not verified by sight, because it may just be circulation within the thunderstorm that could then drop at any moment, or it could actually be a tornado. And I don't see anything, we don't have anything here, which is actually, I'm glad we don't see anything on this tab that I just clicked. It's better not to. Spivey, look at this.
That suggests there's some debris.
Yep,
They're
we
up
are.
into the storm, so
Okay.
I would
Yeah,
say
there's
this is
damage
almost
here.
a radar confirmed tornado.
Yes.
Right over Canyon Lake High School.
Right over the high school, basically.
Right over Canyon Lake High School. You can see those purple colors there that Adam is highlighting.
This is what we're looking at.
Highlighting in the sea of red there.
Yep, these differences.
That indicates that there is some debris up in the storm. So what the radar is seeing right now is in the dark red color, that is just rain, but the blues and the greens indicate some debris high in the storm.
Could just be branches and limbs and stuff like that.
Exactly, but
it
it's
could be
debris nonetheless.
roofing. It could be roofing material.
Correct, and right over Canyon Lake High School there.
That's likely. So we're gonna have to divert Avery to go up 281 north, because this will all be passed and she can go check it out. 281 north and then cut east on, what is that, 306. Cut east on 306, okay? 281 north, cut east on 306. We're gonna send Avery Everett, who's out there. Is she with Ricardo, I believe, the photographer? They're out there and they're gonna go check this out. I'm glad we have them out there and have them live. So this is a totally different product that we're looking at. And while I explain it a little bit, I'll go back to your traditional radar, because I don't wanna skip out on everybody else who is under a severe thunderstorm warning. Not quite as organized as it was before around San Antonio, but still a threat with some wind gusts up to 60 miles per hour. And of course, frequent lightning, thunder, and a lot of heavy rain, potential street flooding. So the product we were looking at before that indicates or gives us an idea that there's probably debris lifted up into the storm, it's called correlation coefficient. So basically when it's like 1.0 or 0.99, like when you saw those numbers, that's essentially like, okay, it's just normal, it's rain, it's just seeing normal thunderstorm. But when you start seeing numbers closer to 0, that is a strong indicator that, hey, there's something different that's been lifted into the storm, and the radar isn't seeing just the usual typical product. It's seeing something completely different. And well, in this kind of case, that would indicate the likelihood of a tornado or even just damage
And I do think we need to highlight those communities downstream of
Yes, absolutely.
tornado.
Yep.
Just because we are seeing some indications of a debris signature there.
So Wimberley, Wood Creek, we gave the time for Wimberley earlier. I'm going to give you a new updated time for for Wimberley. Fisher, we already know that's going. So Wimberley, you have even if it's not exactly the tornado, the high winds are just minutes away from Wimberley. I mean, we're talking just a couple of minutes there. San Marcos, okay, you're not far from this. San Marcos, 12:23 a.m. San Marcos. Even anybody in Kyle watching us through our app or online, 12:27 a.m. would be that time. I want to go back to that product we were talking about, the correlation coefficient, which we have one of these tabs up here because it can help detect debris. Here it is again. So remember I mentioned the numbers closer to 1.0 would be just typical thunderstorm, you know? There we go, right? Typical meteorological targets. You get into the higher or the lower numbers, and that's when it changes. 0.3. So the closer you are to 0, the extreme likelihood it is that there's something more than just rain and hail up in the thunderstorm. So that's the potential tornado. I do want to address other areas now, okay? That's headed eastward, and I'm going to draw a big line because despite the tornado potential from Canyon Lake High School and Fisher toward Wimberley, even San Marcos and Sattler, I also want to talk about the rest of this line that's moving in to the I-35 corridor. It's knocking right on the door. I have to zoom out a bit because this is moving pretty quickly. So I'm going to do the top part of it here, okay? The top part of the storm here, and time it out for communities downstream. All right? Here are the times of the leading edge of it. And Seguin, no, you're not in the warning, but even if this storm isn't as strong when it gets to you in Seguin, you're still going to have a thunderstorm. So Seguin at 12:40 a.m. But let's go to New Braunfels High School, the home of the Unicorns, 12:13 a.m. Downtown New Braunfels, 12:16, because you know the high school is on that kind of northwest side. San Marcos at 12:21. Santa Clara, 12:22. Navarro High School at 12:30 a.m. And again, Seguin at 12:39 at the high school at 12:40. The high school is a little outside of Seguin immediately. Now let's talk about this section of the thunderstorm, okay? The section that's right now moving basically through the Crossroads Medical Center area, and we'll give a time for that. So I'm gonna give a time for that. Let's do this, and down, and here. Okay, so not all of you listed here are within the severe thunderstorm warning, but even if the storm's not as strong, you're still going to get hit by it. We have to change the setting on here. Alamo Heights, 12:11 a.m. Roosevelt High School at 12:12 a.m. And I'm going to go into our computer and change the settings here in a moment so it shows farther away than just the next 15 minutes. But I can also do it this way. Let's talk Lavernia, okay? Anybody? Lavernia, 12:35 a.m. Elmendorf, the heavy rain, 12:34 a.m. Somerset, 12:28 a.m. Castroville, it's moving in pretty much right now. Okay, now back to I'm going to wide view, okay? No other warnings out there. We even look off to the west where we had some of the highest gusts earlier. No warnings out here to the west, but redevelopment, this is the key. We have new thunderstorms forming west of San Antonio, behind the main line. Just look at the past hour. Main line moving into town right now, and I-35, especially Kyle to San Marcos to New Braunfels and Green, down towards Selma, but also new clusters of storms developing on the back edge. So this would lead to higher rainfall totals, increased potential of street flooding, and also the chance of more severe thunderstorms later on tonight. That is another possibility with any further development that is going to happen through the night. It's not going to be continuously storming all night, but we're going to have periods of these storms where you may get woken up and spooked, but we're here. right? And Sarah's here all the way through GMSA, right? So we have somebody here, and we're going to keep this live stream up. Even if when things calm down for, periods of time, we may take a quick break, but we're going to leave Authority Radar up for you, and then we will be, back to give you updates. But we're not going anywhere right now, okay? Not going anywhere right now. I need to switch radar sites to the local one. And we need to address the little notch like I was talking about to the folks that were here for the stream earlier before we hopped on air. And it's kind of looking like it's more of a straight line wind event now.
I wonder about the debris signature that you were looking at earlier.
Yeah.
If we've seen that pulse down.
Let's check it.
Yeah,
we have. Okay.
So,
more of a straight line wind, but still, you can have
this
winds
is the
80 miles per hour. It doesn't
Exactly.
matter. Damage can be the same.
and this is the nature of these storms. The bowing segments of these storms, they have these little embedded rotations that can easily quickly spin up a brief tornado, which apparently seems evident, at least from the debris signature we saw over the Canyon Lake High School area. And we do have crews aware and on their way to that area to see if there is any damage. But I do want to say that if you are inside of that tornado warning in Hays County and in northern Comal County, you need to be inside in the lowest level possible of a sturdy structure and away from windows. That is the way to keep yourself safe from any potential tornadoes. In fact, that's the best way to keep yourself safe from any potential wind gusts or anything like that. The rest of the area is under a severe thunderstorm warning for wind gusts of up to 60 miles per hour along that entire line that is now currently moving through San Antonio. San Antonio itself is getting the weaker side of this storm, but weak does not mean dangerous. Just because it's a little weaker doesn't mean it's not dangerous. Everybody should be inside and away from windows. That is the primary way to keep yourself safe. Again, the section of the storm that has the potential tornado is now pushing into Hays County, moving away from Comal County. You might be wondering, New Braunfels, are you in any risk for a tornado? Not at the moment, but you could still be getting those gusty winds, honestly, momentarily. Those gusty winds are moving through the green area. They're moving through western New Braunfels, about to cross that I-35, very busy I-35 corridor, heading into Guadalupe County. But again, the tornado risk for this particular edge of the storm is up in Hays County right now. So communities like Wimberley, San Marcos, Kyle, Buda need to be on alert for the potential for a tornado here along that bowing segment of that storm.
Anybody here we go. Anybody who's now getting on the back side of it, such as you're about to be there in Spring Branch, okay? Spring Branch, now it's just starting to let up. Just starting to let up in Spring Branch. Canyon Lake, it's not going to start to let up. I'll give you a time, and I'll go basically to the Canyon Dam with this time, okay? So the lighter rain, this green, light green color, that's not going to be until 12:30 a.m. at the Canyon Dam, okay? Bulverde, you have the heavy rain right now. The lighter rain, it's going to be just more of a pitter-patter, a light pitter-patter by 12:22. So about 10 minutes left of the heavy rain in Bulverde. And then it's lighter, but still consistent light rain. This is the stratiform precipitation on the back edge of the strong part of the storm. This is just good light rain, but notice you still get those lightning strikes. So that can be an issue, of course, middle of the night, waking you up, waking the kids up, scaring the dogs, the pets, and everything. And that's just going to be the nature of the night tonight. I think we're just going to have that intermittently. But I wanted to let you know that, Bernie, you are also on the back edge of the worst part. So Bernie, it's now just, it's not as threatening for you in Bernie. It's just light rain with some typical lightning and thunder, more of a generalized thunderstorm. And actually we're seeing some signs, it's not quite as rowdy as it was before in San Antonio, that signature of the storm. Yeah, it's great news. It's not as intense of a signature, and I'll show it to you this way. Go through the past hour, and you see all the organized reds and purples, okay? Right there, right when it moved into Bernie. And now it's a little more diffuse in San Antonio. Still very heavy rainfall and street flooding, flash flooding, high possibility here, but it's not as put together as it was before, and you don't see as much lightning within here. You can even turn on the lightning counter, and you'll see how the number of strikes within this frame dropped from over 200 an hour ago, 270, down to 94 over the past 15 minutes. And when you see less lightning, not as electrified of a storm, that's often an indication that it's weakening. But these storms can go through cycles, and sometimes you'll see a weakening and then a resurgence of strength moments later, sometimes 20, 30, 45 minutes later. You can see that happens sometimes, not as much with these lines of storms, but it can still happen. So even if you're in Seguin, Lavernia, Elmendorf, Floresville, Poteet, we got to be on the lookout for some strengthening as it heads toward your communities. And even off to the west, Uvalde County, just some good rain, nothing severe. Sabinal, Concan, we like to see that good, soaking, healthy rain, because let's face it, we do need the rain.
And we are getting great pictures on our TransGuide cameras.
On TransGuide, we're getting the pics, okay.
Just because, you can see a ton of lightning, a lot of rain here as well. There's just a lot of people that are out and about on a Saturday night, Friday night into Saturday morning here, and they really are in for a bit of a doozy with all of the gusty winds and some minor street flooding ongoing right now. I wouldn't say we're seeing anything life-threatening in the form of flooding at the moment, but again, any kind of rain around San Antonio, you're going to have some issues on the roads, particularly when that rain comes with gusty winds like what we're seeing out there right now. And I am seeing on TransGuide images a lot of first responder vehicles driving across the city. I just saw a fire truck there heading on 281 in Wilderness Oak.
They always get calls in these situations.
Yes, exactly. Lightning fires, there's those fire trucks out and about right now. And again, the biggest area of concern across our viewing area is going to be up 281 toward Canyon Lake.
I-35 right now, yeah.
I-35, well, right now I-35, absolutely. But earlier it was looking like there was a potential tornado out near the Canyon Lake High School area. But again, I-35 is the area that's getting the most intense Boeing segment of the storm. Heading right, New Braunfels, right now you are hearing a lot of high winds at the moment, a lot of lightning. When it becomes safe to do so, we would love to see your pictures. You can post your pictures on KSAT.com and your videos on KSAT.com on KSAT Connect. That way we can show them here on air what you're seeing. You're our eyes on the ground as our viewers. Let's go back to the radar. And Adam.
Yes, thank you, Sarah. And those of you in Spring Branch, I know we have one KSAT Connect post of somebody concerned about a tornado. I'm sure this was a loud storm as it moved in. You are now past the worst of it. So in Spring Branch, you can go outside, assess your property, take a look. Just be mindful that there's still some lightning out there. But notice the heaviest of the rain has even exited the Spring Branch area. Still Smithson Valley, you have a few minutes left. Bulverde, a few minutes left. Fair Oaks Ranch, it's going to be light momentarily. It's going to get a lot weaker. Sarah?
One tool we have is power outages by county.
Yeah, we do.
And I think you'll see a significant
probably up
difference
north.
in Comal County. Go ahead.
Now, the other thing too is I have it set up for total customers.
Yeah, about 6,000.
5,500, yeah. That's where we've had most of the lightning too. And CPS Energy,
nothing yet.
Nothing yet.
But it hasn't updated since 1048. If you notice that, we keep refreshing, but it's not updating since 1048.
I know personally, I have lost power in my house, and I live up in the north of 410 there. So there are some people with power outages around San Antonio. And just a reminder, if you do lose power, if you're watching us on the television right now and you lose power, we are live streaming on the KSAT Weather Authority app, on the KSAT app. So we're with you throughout this storm. If you've got some storm anxiety and you want to be safe and informed, we're going to keep you informed. Even if you lose power, we will be with you in the palm of your hand.
And the one good thing about our app is that we can be live to you, palm of your hand, and you can even have picture-in-picture with it and swipe up and text people that could be in the path of the thunderstorm, right? Okay, those are the power outages. Great tool we have. I want to look just back at our actual velocities. Okay, so yeah, unlikely. The tornado warning has been dropped. Makes sense. Unlikely to have any rotation there. And it does look like the severe thunderstorm warning has been dropped as well.
I wonder if
for San Antonio, unless they're going to.
I don't know if they'll extend it because I'm
not down here, probably.
I'm not seeing those gusty wind signatures, Adam, that we were seeing earlier as the storm is approaching the Alamo City.
I'm kind of surprised Hays County. We don't have any
look
warnings.
at that notch
and there's
right
another
there.
notch right there, another little notch. So these are those notches we've been talking about. Another little notch right here.
To check in with the National Weather Service.
Yeah, you've got the iPad right over there, right? Let's look at the storm relatives. Okay, so yeah, there's a little bit of elevated rotation in the thunderstorm. I'd see a few pockets of it, one near San Marcos, one just west of Kyle. But even despite some rotation and spin within the storm, still, now we have a new scan and it's not quite as pronounced either. But either way, some straight line winds, and just if you're in Kyle or you know anybody in Kyle, just make sure they get in an interior room, stay inside here for the next 30, 45 minutes, let the worst part of it pass. But we still do have some notable winds that are approaching I-35 from San Marcos northward all the way up to Buda. Okay, so through Kyle and Buda, we still have some notable winds. Otherwise, this has now been downgraded. Remember how we talked about how this is less put together than it was an hour and a half ago? That's a good thing.
I think
it's just good rain.
Yeah, and I think it is still important to clarify, there still could be some branches that get
40, 50 mile per hour gusts can
that's
still,
definitely a loud storm. So I want to put people's minds at ease. If you're hearing the gusty winds right now, it's loud, but if you're inside, you should be okay. Again, the storm system has been downgraded from severe to the step right before severe, which just means a loud storm that's capable of some gusty winds. It's been a long time since we've even heard thunder in San Antonio, let alone some gusty winds. So this storm is waking people up. It might be making people concerned, but the good news is, again, severe thunderstorm warning has expired for San Antonio. This is just some good rain that is falling, but what I am watching, Adam, look at that section that's coming in from the west.
Yeah, Sabinal.
Near Uvalde and Sabinal.
Yep.
That may not be severe by the time it reaches San Antonio, but it certainly could add additional rain and maybe even some risk for some street flooding.
And see how a lot of this is making a little more of an eastern motion, whereas this line that was bowing out is headed south and southeast. This is heading a little bit eastward. Combine that with, look what's behind it, more thunderstorms and heavy rainfall. This is the situation where it's not just one hit and it's out of here, one and done. There's going to be a few more rounds, we think, through the night and even into the morning, all the way through sunrise and probably even through 9, 10 a.m. We'll still have action on the radar. It may not be at your house, but in the area, somewhere in the area, we're likely to still have the storms on the radar. So that's a good example, just north of Del Rio and moving into Del Rio, of what can happen even after this main threatening edge. And any of those storms, too, could become strong to severe, but I really think the primary threat with anything additional is especially street flooding, the kind of, and low water crossings and the typical flash flooding, not river flooding. We talked about this earlier this evening. We talked about it throughout the day. River flooding, not a threat here. And I know, Kerrville, you have another round of moderate rain that's moving in and noticeable kind of loud rain. Yes, the flow will increase along the Guadalupe and other rivers as well, including the Blanco River and Frio River and others. But this is not like July 4th. It's very, very, very different. And the river flooding is not a significant risk in this kind of situation. It's more so for car travel, right, and vehicle travel on area roadways.
I'm so glad you pointed that out, Adam. There's so much storm anxiety from that horrible flood we received back in July in the Hill Country. And I apologize, didn't mean to interrupt.
No, that's
you
fine, great.
earlier, but I do want to mention Del Rio, okay? So Del Rio has only had, for the entire year, Adam, 4.5 inches of rain.
All year.
Entire year. And right now, as you were just pointing out, they are probably getting almost half of that, more,
Yeah.
about 2 inches
Yeah.
of additional rain. So even though it's loud, even though it's scary, even though it has the potential to be dangerous if you're outside in the middle of the storm, for the most part, we need this rain badly.
Yeah, sorry the timing. It can wake you up and spook you, spook the kids, spook the dogs and the pets and whatnot. But, and some people love sleeping through the rain, right? Let's be honest there too. Some people love it. So now Del Rio, Sarah mentioned Del Rio. Let's take a look at Del Rio. Here's another batch of very heavy rain that's moving in. And just this type of thunderstorm, which does have a little bit of hail, probably non-damaging sized hail, definitely non-damaging sized hail at the moment at least. This is still a good soak and hit of rain, good splash, which this alone could add another inch or two to the accumulation so far around Del Rio. So let's talk about Del Rio. You mentioned 4.5 inches all year so far? Jeez. Okay, so let's look at just the last 12 hours in and around Del Rio. 1.1, 1.2, and it's still coming down hard, 1.6. And where the next batch of rain is coming from already over 2 inches. So yeah, soon, very soon, Del Rio is going to have half of their total rainfall that they've had so far this year. And the year is quickly winding down as we get deeper into the calendar. So yeah, that's the latest out west for our folks in Del Rio. It's going to be loud with the heavy rain, obviously lightning and thunder, lightning, those white lines you see on the map, and those are exactly where the lightning strikes. Okay, this is what I got into a little bit earlier before we got distracted. I know, shocking, me get distracted by something. Happens all the time. But you see this yellow line right along Highway 90 right here, okay? Ted Luce Road, Los Campos, Las Brisas Boulevard, Lakeview. So this is just north of the city of Del Rio. We have Highway 377 and then 90 veers off to the west there. That yellow line indicates one of the positively charged lightning strikes. Okay, we have positive and negative. Most strikes are negative, and some are positive, a smaller percentage, but you always have some. And those positively charged strikes are significantly stronger than the negative. And those are the ones that you feel more than anything. When there's that cloud to ground strike, and if it's nearby and it's positive, those are the ones that jolt you and, you know, spook you and rattle the glasses in the cupboards, right? Rattle the dishes together a little bit. It's those ones that really can cause, are more likely to cause some power outages. But around San Antonio, I mean, yes, there's a lot of cloud to cloud lightning, you know, intra-cloud within the storms, but not a whole lot. I mean, over the last 15 minutes, had about a dozen strikes here in Bexar County, but one in particular right here near UTSA. Okay, this strike just south of UTSA, south of Hausman Road. Is this UTSA Boulevard we're looking at? Let me see. Stable Farm Road, I-10, because that's Hausman. So wouldn't that be UTSA Boulevard?
No, well, let's see, Hausman.
Or is that
Babcock? Let's see.
Babcock? Yeah, where it curves here, Babcock. Is that right?
No, that's De Zavala.
De Zavala.
Yeah, and it turns into Babcock.
Turns into Babcock. That's right. Okay, so De Zavala. This is where we had one of those loud strikes, those positive strikes right here near Stable Farm Road and De Zavala and Sunset Haven Street, not far from there. This neighborhood, and it's not showing me any more streets. I'm gonna have to get with the people at Barron. We should have more streets than this on our map, Barron folks.
So the horizontal one should be De Zavala. The vertical one should be Babcock, where it turns into Babcock.
Yeah. All right, we have some more TransGuide pictures because of this. What is actually great news. This is great to see right now. I mean, the sky is lit up. A big lightning show. And even if we flip through cameras, I'm sure a lot of them will show similar, but there you go, just good soaking rainfall. Not the best to travel through, true, but it's not exactly a rush hour right now. You see some flashing lights out there. Remember, only turn on your hazards if you have to pull over and you have an emergency. Otherwise, don't have your hazards on. The officers will tell you that. 281 Hildebrand there, that's near downtown University of the Incarnate Word, and this is our I-10 Medical Center shot. Now we're overlooking Medical Center from I-10. You know that big Lowe's along I-10 near Crossroads, near the 410 interchange where the traffic always backs up onto those 410 flyover ramps from I-10. I-10 heading inbound, that's that big Lowe's that you see on the bottom of your screen. And we're not seeing a whole lot of lightning on that cam, and we really haven't most of the night. But I haven't been watching it all that closely. And keep in mind, a lot of 1604 Bulverde, these are heavy construction zones. Heavy rainfall and construction do not mix well. So I-35, okay, I-35, especially from 410 all the way up through Selma, it's a big construction zone, and that can be very problematic when it comes to heavy rainfall and ponding of water on the roads. Often those construction zones have poor drainage. So right along here, I-35, especially Live Oak, Selma, Rolling Oaks Mall, you have IKEA, and you have RBFCU right there. Dane,
If we can turn on my mic again.
Oh yeah, we'll get Spivey's mic to pop up here if you don't mind, Will. Thank you.
All right, again, you know, there are still some lightning strikes around San Antonio, so there's still danger out there from the lightning, but the lightning has pulsed down quite a bit over San Antonio.
It's a good sign.
Which means that the system itself is weakening as a whole. There is another warning, but that warning is for San Marcos, out toward Kyle, north of our viewing area. But of course, we have a lot of people that we know that live up in San Marcos and Kyle area. That storm is now exiting I-35 and heading out towards Smithville and LaGrange. That is the dangerous part of the storm at the moment, the life-threatening part of the storm. And the storms around San Antonio are loud. They are definitely waking people up. There's lots of wind. There's lots of heavy rain. But there is no major life-threatening issues in downtown San Antonio, around San Antonio at the moment. Adam.
All right, so I want to go to KSAT Connect. We just got our first photo from the Canyon Lake area. This is Cranes Mill, so I want to switch us over, pop that to the current, and let's go right over to our KSAT Connect. And it should, oh my gosh. There we go. Use this one. Okay, you may have to refresh this. Yeah, that one's not up to date. Let me reload my AirPlay, and then I'll get it.
And then if you wanted to, the map there, whoever's running the map, you need to zoom out.
Okay, I'm back.
Okay, there we go.
I'm back. There we go. Okay, so this is Cranes, near North Cranes Mill Road and 32. It looks like an oak, I believe, a big oak limb. Looks rather thick right there. See, part where it ripped off the tree, fell down this way. Thank you for sending us this photo. Now that it's safe to get outside, Spring Branch, Canyon Lake, Sattler, near Canyon Lake High School.
Send us your pictures.
Yeah, send us your photos.
And mark the time, too, for insurance purposes.
Oh, yeah.
So this happened around probably midnight 15?
Yeah, about midnight 15. And keep in mind, for insurance purposes, and we say this because people will ask us after the fact, what time did this hit? Insurance needs to know. Remember, your photos, they have metadata. If you just swipe up from the bottom, and you can see the data, and it'll tell you what time, or even sometimes just on the top. Oh, it was at 12:07 a.m. So
we're starting to get some more pictures now.
Okay, we're starting to get more pictures. Thank you, folks. I'm going to load up some of those photos now, reload my system here. And
there's
no, and I'm just gonna. I essentially am.
Yeah, please.
Right here, just to show you. This is Culebra Road right now. Talking about just some big rain. Looks like an apartment complex right there. Kalina Lozano, Culebra Road, loving the rain right there. And so we're getting some more pictures coming in right now from KSAT Connect. And again, we mentioned earlier, if you can safely safely use your device, and we'll just continue to reload this here. You can upload your photos, safely take them, and then upload the photos, and then they'll populate here on KSAT.
Tap that one with the on the right, the black, that
one?
Yeah, so that is a local weather station that somebody has in their backyard. Half inch of rain in northwest already. Far west side, northwest SA. Yeah, 0.51. There it is. See that blue on the lower right there, Ernie? Yeah, 0.51. And it's still raining, and we'll get more rounds, so that's good.
All right, so keep them coming, and we'll continue to show them off here. KSAT Connect, again, all we have to do is just continue to reload the page, and we'll be able to share them here. And we're seeing this in real time along with you guys. So again, this is the photo that Adam showed a little while ago there of that tree that fell there near Cranes Mill Road in 32. So thank you to Andrew Villa for sending that in, and then that's the rain that we saw just a moment ago. So we'll continue to keep an eye here on KSAT Connect. Again, if you can safely take your pictures and upload them to us, we'll be sure to get them on the air. And it's great information, as Sarah said. It's just great information wherever you may be to be able to share that with us, guys.
Okay, I'm going to find Cranes Mill Road in 32. Okay, this is just on the north side of Canyon Lake, and we're going to do a little investigation here. Okay, we're going to.
So right now, just
we're gonna look
light
into
rain
this.
over the Canyon Lake area.
It is, so I'm just slowly taking us in so people know exactly what we're talking about. Okay, there's 306, 32, right? Cranes Mill in 32. Was it 32, right?
Correct. Cranes Mill Road and 32.
Okay, so let's find, oh, here it is. Okay, Cranes Mill Road and 32. So this is Fisher, basically. Cranes Mill Road and 32. I'm going to zoom out really fast, so sorry if I make you a bit dizzy. Okay, Canyon Lake's here, Fisher's here. That was Cranes Mill in 32. Now, Sarah, I'm going to ask for your assistance as I step off and you deactivate, in 1 sec, deactivate the hand tracking.
Okay.
And on the slider bar, you can, no, I mean on Links 1.
I'm deactivating the hand tracker.
Oh yeah, just on Links 1, yeah, that's fine.
Oh, okay, okay. And then what do you need?
Oh, the time slider? Yeah.
Oh,
We can go back. Let's
Yeah,
let's
let's go
let's
So
investigate.
we're going back in time here.
Oh, there we go.
So
So right before midnight.
this is right before midnight. And remember, that dark blue color that you see here, this is the potential debris from a potential tornado. And there you can see Canyon Lake High School on the right-hand side of your screen. Then as we go forward to midnight, right at around midnight, that debris signature actually got larger. So we have about a 2-mile wide debris signature up in the storm from a potential tornado here.
Okay, and go back to that, the previous time. Yeah, okay. And then right here is Cranes Mill in 32. So this is probably from this neighborhood, I'm assuming, or somewhere, you know, because look at all these streets right here, little streets right here, little developments. Yeah.
We've got Lasso Loop, Desiree Street, Marlis Avenue, that's 484 right there, Legacy Ridge, with a potential debris signature right over there. And then as we go forward in time, closer to midnight, there's Canyon Lake High School right here. And then here's the debris signature. We've got Stallion Springs Drive, FM 32, and then as we zoom in even more, Family Circle, Mail Route Road, and then there is the Hayes County line, Comal and Hayes County lines there. Before, then we see the debris signature disappear.
Okay, will you re-enable hand tracking for a sec?
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you. And I'm going to go back to that and let's look at, I wonder if our TDS swath, it didn't find anything. Okay, that product didn't find anything. But earlier we were looking at, let's look at 1 hour share. Okay, this,
wow.
it was basically right here, but you see how it kind of pulsed up and got a little bit stronger. So
And
that's
that debris could have also been from
straight line winds. It very well could have
We
been.
don't
So
know if it was from a tornado or gusty winds, and frankly, it doesn't matter what the method was.
No,
because
just
damage is damage.
damage is damage. And often straight line winds in our neck of the woods cause as much or more damage than tornadoes, because usually we have smaller tornadoes and people all the time mistaken straight line winds for tornadoes.
Can I jump in real quick
Please
just
do.
to say, because I'm monitoring the bearflood.org
Yes,
page, and we have
absolutely.
our first road closure.
Okay.
And I bring it up because it is at 281. It's Maltzberger Lane, which is essentially 281 at Bitters. And that's where I believe we saw, is that not where we saw a couple of fatalities not too long ago with some flooding near the airport?
Right, Ernie. That was near where?
That's near, yeah.
That was back in July and June,
Yeah.
I believe. That is a road that typically floods whenever we get any rain. So that is the first road closure of the evening. Remember, low water crossings.
Right.
Now, what's unique is that part of Wurzbach Parkway is extremely elevated, so it's definitely not Wurzbach Parkway.
No,
it's that
the
side
green
road.
Maltzberger Lane is
Yeah,
Maltzberger
I think there's like
There's a greenway.
well, the Greenway too, but there's that road with an office building there. You have the Chevron station, then you also have office build. Yeah, there you go. Okay, so this is that low line area.
There's yep. And then right over that fence right there is the creek.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great. And then I do believe there's a reported transformer fire, Alamo Heights area. You know, we're going to get
lightning strike probably, or a limb down.
Or anything like that. And oftentimes, when it's been a while since we've seen rain on the power lines, you get dust and dirt that collects, and it actually trips the power lines when the rain starts.
Mm-hmm.
Rain starts, even if it's light rain on the power lines, all that dust and dirt will trip those power lines and power will go out. So let's check on the CPS energy outage map if there has been any updates. Again,
it hasn't updated since 1048. That's the thing. It's been stuck on 1048. When you get a chance, I did want to direct you guys. We have a video clip coming in on KSAT Connect. Here it is, and I'll just jump in real quick.
Wow.
This is from Joey Recco. I hope I'm saying that right. H-R-E-C-H-K-O, Recco.
Okay.
This is out of New Braunfels, but you can clearly see some damage right here. It looks like either a canopy or some stuff that he's panning across. A driveway. His truck is right there, and I think there's some patio furniture and barbecue pit, and you see the lightning and everything.
Oh, and it does look like there's a mailbox down
right, that
too.
is toppled over and everything.
So this was the area that had those straight line wind gusts there, Adam, from the leading edge of the storm. That is the kind of damage that we were concerned about with the leading edge of that storm. Since that storm moved through the New Braunfels area, the wind threat has really diminished. So that is good news, but what we're seeing right now are the remnants of when that storm was at its strongest as it was moving over I-35 in New Braunfels. There's some serious damage there done to this person's yard. So thank you, Joey, for sending us those pictures and videos on KSAT Connect. Again, mark the time for insurance purposes. Best of luck to you. Thank you for sending in those pictures and videos, and keep those pictures and videos coming.
And those patio umbrellas are like sails. Even if they're closed, some of them, they really get lifted and lofted in these kinds of winds. Notice we have a little bit more that popped up. Who's
these are we're seeing these for the first time, so it just looks like some heavy
bear with us.
Nest camera.
Medina Valley area.
And Spring Branch, and this looks like, I certainly don't want to speculate here, but they're getting some video or some photos there of like a patio there at any rate in the Spring Branch area. So again, we're seeing a lot of these photos in real time with you guys, and so we're kind of reacting to them. But keep them coming. We appreciate it as long as you can safely get the photos, and we're just going to reload here and continue on. We will cycle through them as best we can, but we appreciate it. We've heard from Medina Valley, New Braunfels, Spring Branch, and again, we're going to be here. So keep them coming in, KSAT Connect, and we're still efforting the CPS energy outage map. Again, unofficially, we've got some outages here, but it hasn't repopulated or updated here in a little while. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that as well.
Yeah, and I think that patio may have been some very small hail on those patio stones. There was a little bit of hail suspended within some of these storms, but that's nothing significant hail-wise. Here's our look at our power outages per county, and we have a new warning out near Del Rio, okay? New severe thunderstorm warning. I'm gonna get to that in one quick moment. The lightning is on here. I know the lightning, it can be a little distracting, but I'm just going to leave it on because there's a lot of it, and this is what causes a lot of the power outages. Comal County, about 9,000 customers. Kendall County, 1,000. Kerr County, 800. Bandera County, about 200. Edwards County, 200.
Pretty impressive.
Val Verde County, 200.
North of Del Rio.
Yeah. And
might be able to look into it in the 3D
oh, absolutely.
stretch.
Yes. Did a lot of 3D earlier. We're really going to get into this one here. Yeah, there's definitely a hail core there, a strong one. And I'm going to animate it first so we can see it develop. See this purple and black area? Just on the east side of basically Laughlin Air Force Base. We should get a report from them. Laughlin Air Force
check in on
Base.
that.
Yeah, they're basically on the edge of that strong hail. But I want to look at the past 30 minutes with this, just so you can watch how the purple and black really pops up right there as it moves through Del Rio to Val Verde Park and Laughlin Air Force Base. Boom, it really, that hail core develops. That's how quickly it can happen, just within a few of those scans. Boom, boom, and boom.
And we have seen storms that develop out near Del Rio, Brackettville, that make it all the way to San
They do. And what this is a good illustration too of Spivey is more development after that first little hit of rain and thunderstorms.
Not in the clear yet.
Not in the clear. This is not